Okay, we're here at the Chatham Air Show. I'm here with one of my favorite builders. I mean, you know, we're hanging out so much.
Got a lot of favorite builders.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, but you're my favorite,
Okay.
definitely. Now, we have a new plane this year.
Yep.
This is the Hudson Mark V.
Yes, Lockheed built this back in the 30s and originally as an airliner. And what happened was the Second World War started and England was in dire need of aircraft. And this was one of the first airplanes shipped over to England as a Lend-Lease under the Lend-Lease program. And the plane itself started as an airliner, but the Brits used it as a coastal defense thing for chasing submarines and things, which were really a problem at that time in the war.
Oh, so obviously the bombs that we saw you dropping were
Depth charges.
depth charges.
Yeah,
So
and appropriately they hit the water.
they hit the water, which is great.
Yeah, it was unintentional, but it happened.
Now let's take a look at the plane. Stuck with the British design on it. Why was there a bubble in the front? I mean, we see the guns up here. Obviously, these are for the gunner up in front. But what was he doing in the front
Well,
there?
actually, he was the navigator / bombardier. And the plane held a crew of 5, I believe. And there was, of course, a gunner back here and radio operator. I can't tell you a whole lot about it. I can tell you a little bit about this replica, which is powered by 2 DA-100s, generating about 10.2 horsepower. So it's
Is that more than enough horsepower to handle it?
Yes.
Because you were telling me earlier that it's quite a heavy plane. It's about 100 pounds then.
Yes, it's over 100 pounds, and it's got a 180-inch wingspan. Makes it about 23% of scale. So it's a fairly good-sized airplane. One of the interesting things, and you may catch that in its flight, is that it has Fowler flaps, which, when fully extended, extend 8 1/4 inches past the wing trailing edge.
And what was the reason for that when they built it?
Well, to slow it down and to make it a easier plane at slow speeds. It unfortunately did not necessarily work out that way. A lot of rookie pilots had some real issues with slow speed. So later on in its life, they capped the flaps down to, I believe, something like 30 or 40% as opposed to 60%, which was way too much.
Now it's got a lot of detail, like once again, you put a lot of detail in. We got the navigator in the front, we got the turret in the back. Obviously during civilian use you didn't have these.
One other feature I have to mention is that my good friend Bob Walker built the landing gear for me, which is robust to say the least.
Whoa, look at that. That is robust.
Pretty massive landing gear, and quite frankly, it's needed. The way I fly, it's really needed. And it carries 4 depth charges in its bomb bay.
Now, how does she handle in the air?
It's a heavy airplane, doesn't bounce around a lot. On landing, it is an issue for an old guy like me because what ends up happening is with the flaps fully extended, the tail wants to stay up in the air. And one of the things that I'm drilling into my pea brain is do not apply the brakes when that tail is in the air. The plane will tip over, or at least tip up on its nose. Yeah, you've got to let the tail settle. I've learned that the hard way. Yeah.
Well, Carl, it's a beautiful plane. We always look forward to seeing all your great planes. Thanks a lot again.
Thank you.
And there you go, folks. One of the master builders that we always see here up in Canada. We have to see more of Carl. Every year he brings up a new surprise, folks. Keep watching RCTV, folks. We'll be right back.
John.
All right, so for the years, people have been building the multi-rotor copters in their basements, in their own hobby rooms with motors and speed controls left over from other equipment. And now Blade 350QX is out, and it is already enabled and comes with a mount for the GoPro camera. So guys have been spending like thousands of dollars over the past few years building up their own. And here it is, the Blade 350QX, fully ready to go for under 500 bucks with everything you need to make it fly. And let's see what it can do. The 350QX is waiting for you at John's Hobbies. We have both the bind and fly and the ready to fly version, and you'll be flying, capturing some amazing footage with your GoPro in just a matter of minutes. Come on down.
Where are you gonna get it? John's.